Hello everyone, I'm Meera Shah, an audiologist, speech therapist, and counselor. Let's continue our series Better Communication, Better Connections. In the last videos, we talked about how we make use of the context and engage with the child. We sometimes ask questions to the child, then we wait, and if the child responds, then we add the new skill of expanding. Sometimes the child may not be in a question answer mode. In that, also we can use this expanding skills as commenting more about those things and adding more information. In this video, what we'll do is we'll start with simple language skills that a young child uses for need-based communication, and gradually we'll keep moving to higher language skills which are required for complex interaction. So let's start the video. If you are a parent of a younger child who is at a basic communication level, we can use the skill of expanding using a lot of things that we have in the home environment. We can also make use of the daily rituals that we have. But apart from that, to grab a young child's attention and to sustain his attention, we can use toys and games. So if we notice, most of the toys that are available are all action based, in which the child has to perform. He has to do certain things. Example, puzzles, he has to put the puzzles. Blocks, he has to create certain formations. Or random toys like ball or vehicles or toy animals and things like that, in which he does certain things. All of these are action based. Here the key thing is we have to convert those action based play into interaction based play. So the immediate question we hear is, how do we do that at home? One of the things that you can do is show the toy, don't immediately give away. Hold back, talk about it, and then you give it to the child. Even if that holding back is just for a few seconds, in which you could talk only one or two sentences about it, that's absolutely fine. So the second thing is we can try and avoid giving complete access altogether. When we have some parts of the toy with us, what we can do is, example, give one puzzle piece at a time or one block at a time. So if the child wants to move to the next part of the game, he will have to look at us at least. He'll have to probably stretch his hand out. He'll use certain verbalizations. So there will be some interaction from his side, and we can make use of that time to add information. So the third thing that we can do is have two categories of toys. One is a daily used toys which the child can go and grab it by himself. Another category of toys, which probably are his new toys, we can keep it with us and introduce bit by bit in our presence that we can use for engaging and expanding. So the fourth thing that we can do is have two sets of the same toy, one for us in which we demonstrate, and the second one is for the child. Because the child is having his toy in his hand, he will be patient enough to listen to what we have to add. Now let's see how do we actually expand using some examples. Here the stages that we will see for expanding will be very similar to what we had discussed in the asking video, which is like we begin with nouns, moving on to verbs, moving on to adjectives and prepositions, and from then we'll move on to higher language skills. If you have missed watching the asking video, the link is in the description, you can go watch that. Let's start with the example wherein we ask the child, what is it that you want to play today? Say if the child chooses ball. Here ball is a noun. At this level, if we want to expand, we can use comments like, let's throw the ball, let's catch the ball, let's dribble the ball. At different occasions, we can talk about different games like catch or cricket or football or basketball. As a side note, let's remember we are going to have plenty of chances to play with our child. So give little information each time. Do not overload the child with a lot of information in one go. And also remember that kids sometimes do require repetitions when they are learning new concepts. Now, if we want to transition from nouns and verbs to adjectives, we can add comments like, let's play with a big ball. I am throwing the ball slowly. Oh, the ball is going fast. Oh, look at the ball, it is bouncing. Then, if we want to transition from adjectives to prepositions, we can add things like, I want to target the basket, but it went over it. I missed it. It went from the side. So it's not always necessary to plan things. What we can also do is you are just spontaneously playing with your child and you can make the comments as you we see in a live match how the commentator is commenting about every action that the player is doing. We can just comment what is happening in and around us while engaging with the child. Now let's move further. This part will be useful for the parents whose kids are already using meaningful long sentences but they want to transition into higher language skills. For higher language skills, we can add things like emotions and comparisons, reasoning, inferencing, non-literal language usage like idioms and sarcasms, figurative language like simile or metaphor. To use the higher language skills in a more practical way, we can narrate our past experiences. We can have a group of friends and siblings who are sharing their experiences, and the child can then also describe his experiences from school or with friends. So, when together everyone is coming and talking, we can add these elements of higher language skills so the child will pick it up and also start using it. Next, we move to later stages in which we encourage the kid to use all of the acquired language, including the higher language skills, to use it in a more pragmatic way to increase more of socialization. Let's take a scenario in which we are going for a match and say we have 2 matches on that weekend, but we have limited time, limited budget. So now we have to choose. In this scenario, we can ask the child to take a lead and do the planning. There are different steps in planning. Let's look at what all steps are there. How to get the tickets, ease of access in terms of the location and traffic, favorite teams, which match will be interesting, who all will join us, communicating with other friends about the program, convincing them if need may be, problem solving if there's a time clash, planning the meals, whose car we'll take, meeting point, and things so on. Not necessarily that we have to plan expensive things. We can try and plan inexpensive things like game night in the house or cooking up a new dish and so on. While doing such activities, we keep in mind that we let the kid take the lead and we take a back seat and we supervise and intervene only when the child is stuck somewhere or needs some practical modifications. Here, the child will enjoy the activity a lot more because he was involved throughout in the planning of the activity. Another thing that child will learn is if two parties are not on the same page, how to use communication and come to a midway. These are important life lessons, and through these kind of activities, child will start learning them. This is a very good way in which we can bond and engage with older kids, which by the way sometimes can be very tricky. And the experience of these kinds of joint activities, the memories that we create, the pictures of the happy moments that we take, we can always go back and relive those moments later. Here we come towards the end of the video and we understand that by expanding language in such a way, we are adding tools to their toolkit which will help foster their cognitive development, their academic growth, their career opportunities, their overall social interactions, and more importantly, their effective communication, deeper understanding, and stronger connections. So, in the next video, we'll talk of one more skill. Till then, stay tuned and let's be in tune.